Happy Frugal Friday, friends. If you're anything like me, when you got your mortgage on your first home, you're thinking, all right, this is what I agreed to. It's this amount of years that I'm supposed to pay this off, but I got this. I'm gonna pay this off early. I am gonna find a way, I'm gonna make a way, and I'm gonna pay off this house as soon as possible. And if that's true, that is awesome. Today, I'm sharing 7 mistakes to avoid if you're gonna pay off your home early. Let our Friday ritual begin. Grab your notebook and pen and let's get started. The first mistake to avoid when paying off your home early is not paying off your other debts first. Look, I am a student of Dave Ramsey initially. When I started this whole debt-free journey and I listened to the audiobook of the Total Money Makeover, I was blown away, to be honest. I was having epiphany after epiphany and I was like, wow, these baby steps make total sense to me. This is a perfect map to get started. Since then, I have done a couple videos, 3 amazing takeaways that I've learned from Dave Ramsey's teachings. And then I did another video on 3 ways that I disagree with Dave's methods. Doesn't mean they're right or wrong, but check those out at the very end. I'll leave them on the end screen for you to decide. In this case, I totally agree. Take care of your other debts first. Pay off your credit cards, your student loans, your car loans. Just leave the big fish at the end that you can tackle. Hopefully your interest rate is pretty low on your house. Take care of all the other debts first. Crush those before you move over to your mortgage payoff attack. Number 2 is not having an emergency fund first. I would never attack paying off my mortgage unless I had an emergency fund. In fact, I would never have bought my home initially if I didn't have an emergency fund already saved up. That emergency fund to me is everything. I love having an emergency fund. They recommend 3 to 6 months expenses tucked away to make sure that you are covered in case stuff happens. Because guys, stuff happens. And having that emergency fund is peace of mind. It has made all the difference. If you'd like a video on how to create your first starter emergency fund, I will leave a link right here to a video that will hopefully be very helpful for you. I talk about emergency funds on this channel a lot. I value the emergency fund greatly. As you can probably tell, if you've been here for a little bit, you know that I'm all about the emergency fund. The third mistake to avoid when paying off your home early, I'm just waiting to see if Bun's gonna knock that over. Buns, honey, is not putting the extra payments toward the mortgage principal. The principal is key. You wanna make sure you put those extra payments toward the principal, not just an extra payment that's gonna be paying interest, etc. You wanna make sure you specify it's for the loan principal. Principal. You know when you say a word so many times, you're like, is that a word? Principal. Principal? Principal. If you're enjoying this video so far, can you please type in the comments, pay it off, so that I know you are enjoying this kind of content and you've made it this far in the video. The fourth mistake to avoid when paying off your home early is not asking if there is a prepayment penalty. Now I'm telling you this because every article I've ever read on this topic always brings up this topic. My personal mortgage loan does not have a prepayment penalty. Prepayment penalty, say that 3 times fast, but it doesn't, so I don't worry about that, but I'm always warned, make sure you check. So I'm telling you, make sure. It would be awful if all of a sudden you're making all this extra effort to pay it off early and there's a penalty for it. So just check the fine print, make sure you're okay. Like I said, mine's fine. I didn't have any problems with it, but I wanted to tell you just in case. The 5th mistake to avoid when paying off your home early is not having anything invested in your retirement. You've heard that saying, when was the best time to invest? 20 years ago. What's the second best time? Today. The K Squad talks about retirement quite often. People sometimes feel fearful of investing. It's something they hesitate on. It's something that's not even sometimes in the forefront of their mind until later in life. I told you guys, my greatest regret is not investing in retirement earlier. I did not start investing in retirement until my late 30s. It's crushing to me. If I had known, I did not know better back in the day. I really didn't. Right, Buns? Retirement? Yeah? Bun says yes. Before you pay off your house, I would highly recommend making sure you are investing in your retirement so that that is underway. You want the compound interest to be piling up behind you over time. So make sure if you have an employee-sponsored program, a 401k, 403b, to be invested in that at least to the match and beyond if possible. And then if you have not invested in a Roth IRA, I would highly recommend that also. Again, I started all of this in my late 30s, and anybody younger than that, please be listening. And anybody older than that, there's still time. Do it, invest. The sixth mistake to avoid when paying off your home early is not considering big life events coming up. Always be thinking ahead. You know, what have you got going on? Does your child need braces? Is one of your kids getting married? Is that something that you would need to have a little extra money for? Now, none of these things you might be thinking, oh, well, I wouldn't choose that over paying off my mortgage, and that is up to you. But just be considering, is it time for a vacation coming up? Do I want to spend the money on vacation? Do I want to put it toward my mortgage? Am I going to need to have a car so that I can still get around? Is my car on its last dying leg? Do we need to remember that we need to purchase a new vehicle soon? Are you going to need to put in a new boiler this year? Are you going to need to put a new roof on the house this year? Be thinking about what is immediately in the future that you're going to need money for and what makes more sense. Do I need to attack the mortgage and get that monkey off your back, or am I going to need some cash for what's coming up? The seventh mistake to avoid, if you're going to pay off that mortgage, is not going for it. If you get yourself into position where you can pay off this house and that's something you really want, you don't want a mortgage payment anymore. You want the freedom of having that extra money every single month for whatever else you want to do. Go for it if you have gotten yourself into position, if you've paid off all your debts, if you have a strong emergency fund, your retirement is in order, and you've got this money just sitting there. I know there's not a lot of people in that situation with it just sitting there, but I'm telling you, if you get into position, if that is the position you get into and that is something you really want, go for it. How exciting. I have not heard one member of the K Squad ever say to me, yeah, I paid off my mortgage, whatever. Like every time I say, how does it feel? What is it like? Everyone's always telling me how fantastic that feeling is when they make that last payment and then they know that their home is theirs. I know that there is a lot of debate whether paying off the house is worth it. And I have watched several of my YouTuber friends that have reached this milestone and listen to what they say, but I want to know, what do you think about this topic? Should people be looking to get that mortgage paid off? And if so, why? And if not, why not? What are your thoughts on this? Should we be attacking the mortgage as soon as possible? Or if you are reluctant, let me know in the comments what's your biggest hesitation. On a personal note, I am a single mother, right? And I work multiple jobs and have worked multiple jobs for a long time. And getting this house, even just getting this house for me was a huge deal, you guys. I worked so hard at saving and being strategic and using all my frugal living tips and my budgeting skills and all that to make this happen. And the idea of me as a single mom with all these jobs and being able to pay off the mortgage early on my own, I'll tell you what, it thrills me. I would be so proud. I would love to be able to eventually take that money when the house is paid off. I feel like the sky's the limit, right? If you have that extra mortgage that you're not paying each month, oh my gosh, that's huge. Think of all you could do with that once that's paid off. So each month, as you guys know, I try to put more money toward the principal to pay this off sooner than later. It's still gonna take a while. It's still gotta be patient, but I'm working on it. And every little bit of progress counts. All right, K-Squad, last question of the day. Do you have a mortgage? And if so, have you paid it off? Or if not, how much longer do you have on your mortgage before it is paid off in full? And if you're a renter, type in renter, be loud and proud. I was a renter for a very, very long time and got lots of value out of my renting, but definitely happy when I was able to purchase this house. If you're not subscribed yet and you like this kind of content, hit subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell so you're notified each time I upload, which is mostly Fridays, but sometimes I come out with some bonus videos and lives that you don't want to miss. If you like this kind of content, I'm going to leave a video for you right here called 3 Hacks to Pay Off Your Home Early. I think you'll find it very useful. Oh, and I will also leave you 7 things I didn't expect when buying a house for the first time. Check out one of these next. Thanks for being here, K-Squad. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye, K-Squad. Bun says bye, too.